Hello, good evening, guys. Delia with Plant-Based Potential. Another Wednesday is here, and I'm at tip 9, which is stay vigilant against your negative inner thoughts. One of the things about staying vigilant against your negative thoughts is it's a daily thing. It's something that we're probably going to be doing our whole lives, and it gets easier with time, though, I think. In a sense, sometimes we find ourselves falling back into a cycle again, and there's little things you can do to try and prevent that. So one of the things that I would suggest doing is when you have a lot of negative thoughts that are kind of cycling in your mind, write down those thoughts, put them on paper. It kind of brings acknowledgement to them, and then also write down something next to it that is a positive, something that you can turn that thought into. So anytime you catch yourself thinking it, then you automatically change it to repeat the positive one. I've found that helpful in the past. And also, making new mantras for yourself, helping you get through certain things. Because sometimes we stress ourselves out about a lot of things that really aren't necessary. One thing for me, for example, was when I was going to school, I always was, at the beginning, really stressed out about time. I was working full time, trying to do online school in the evenings, and it became a lot. And so I found myself always saying, I don't have time, and that made me more stressed. So I switched that comment to I have plenty of time. And as it turns out, I did. And sometimes we just have to kind of flip the thought how we're experiencing stuff. So staying vigilant, it's a daily practice. Be kind to yourself. If you wouldn't say something to your friend, or if you wouldn't accept a friend saying something to you in such a manner, you shouldn't say it to yourself either. And when you're really, really hard on yourself, try and, think about the inner child, there's forgiveness in a lot of things, and you don't need to be so hard on yourself all the time. We are all growing people. There's always room for growth on every level. So that is that, staying vigilant against your inner negative thoughts. That'll help you get through, anything that you're going through, whether it be lifestyle changes, dietary changes, depression, just getting from one day to the next. Always stay vigilant. It's all about good health and mind, body, and soul. So with that, the thing that I was going to do for food tonight was show you guys a few ingredients that I like to keep on hand in the kitchen, because they're really handy when it comes to making dishes. And so a lot of recipes, you'll see like a list of 20 different things, and it's really overwhelming. And you're like, what the heck? I don't want to go search through the store for all this stuff. But once you do have these things in your pantry and in your fridge, it makes life so much easier, and these things will just become staples in your fridge. Okay, so one of the things, we've got tamari sauce. I know the lighting is awful in here, but that's tamari sauce. I always get reduced sodium because these things tend to be really salty, and I usually even cut back on a lot of the amounts that are recommended in a lot of recipes. Same thing with soy sauce. Sometimes I get light sodium, sometimes this is just all that's there. Tamari is supposed to be gluten-free versus soy, which is not. Maple syrup, I've busted this out quite a few times. It really comes in handy for a lot of things. I mean, just this little pile here, I could do a marinade with my tofu or tempeh in a variety of different ways. Also, I have busted out this liquid smoke before. I love keeping that in there for like that barbecue-y kind of flavoring. And then if you guys are into spicy stuff, some garlic sriracha. I put that on my tofu marinades a lot. And then for other stuff, I like to have some bouillon cubes. Now, making your own veggie broth is awesome, and anybody can do it. It's super easy. It's literally, you can use the scraps, or you can make it nice and fresh with, whole food. And it's good. But these, I really like this brand here. because one of the other Bouillon Cube brands, it's Knorr, and it has tons of MSG in it, which is not good for you. In fact, MSG is like a numbing agent to our stomach, and so when we eat, we tend to eat a lot of it because our stomach doesn't tell us when we're full like it naturally should. So I just try and avoid that stuff. We have fresh lemons all the time. I always have fresh lemons. And if not, and you know, I've had them in season where I have a ton of them and I can't use them, I cut these open and I put them in an ice cube tray. And then once they're frozen, I pop them out and I can put them in a container for whenever I need fresh lemon juice. So that is always handy. Garlic. I always keep cloves of garlic or bulbs of garlic in the house. And this comes in handy with like so many recipes, almost all recipes. I don't even know. Onion too. These two things together will, you know, make any dish have flavor. So I always like to keep those on hand. It's even if it's a cooked dish or a salad dish, whatever. They've always been on the shelf and ready to use. So those. I also have some spices here, and they're just the less common ones that might not be in your pantry. I know everybody usually has, you know, the traditional salt and pepper and stuff like that. But cumin is really good. I love putting this on, you know, my Mexican style dishes. It's my new secret ingredient, not so secret for hummus. Turmeric. I'll be making a hot cocoa next week with some of this turmeric. It's a turmeric hot cocoa. And this is just a great spice to have in the pantry, or if you can buy the root, they have them at Sprouts. You can do actual fresh turmeric root in your dishes, and it's a great anti-inflammatory. I've literally seen inflammation on things physically go down within a matter of minutes. Like, you know, maybe about 20 minutes I've seen inflammation go down after eating turmeric. So it's really an amazing thing. And then finally I have smoked paprika, which is different than regular paprika. It has a whole nother flavor. It really helps give that barbecue-y kind of flavoring. And again, it's another thing that we put on a lot of marinades and stuff like that. Or if I'm making like a nutty bacon bit type of thing, it's good with that as well. So those are my spices and condiments and things like that. I hope you guys keep up the positive vibes in your own life, and everybody stay safe, healthy, have a beautiful Christmas, and I will see you next week before the new year. Have a good night.